Hey guys, welcome back to the third part of my game against L'Ami from the European Championship in 2012. And we just left this position, my opponent took an h3, and now I saw this threat of queen e4 pretty much mating me almost immediately, and I want to prevent it and played queen d4, but this is a mistake. And we'll see some incredibly beautiful variations here, which were found by Anish. So one move is to play b6, to simply keep pushing the pawns. And the idea is now that after queen e4 I can play rook takes g7, king h8, and now first it looks that black is winning, threatening to mate on g2 and also take on e3, but can play rook h7, sacrifice the rook, go into the endgame, and now the two connected pass pawns are winning for white. Bishop f5, rook a7, I'm not taking on b8 yet, I still have time, king g6, bishop a6, bishop e4 and b7, and there's no way for black to create any counterplay. He's not getting to the first rank in any way, and I'm simply winning both rooks here, and the position is lost for black. But after b6, black can play bishop d8, incredible defensive resource. Now bishop d3, and once again white is taking on g7, but this time he's not sacrificing a rook on h7, but he can take on g3. And here black has different ways to resolve the position and draw. One way is queen takes e3, and now bishop takes b6, and take, bishop takes, rook takes h3, and the position is a draw here. The rook endgame is a draw. Another way would be for black to play rook g8. Now exchanging this rook, and here black is having a perpetual but not more. King h2 and perpetual. So there was one very interesting line. Let's see another. Another move possible was bishop c5, attacking the rook on f8. And once again bishop d8 is the only move. We had already seen queen e4 that would lead to a similar variation. Again, rook takes g7, rook h7. Maybe another move here, natural moves to just move the rook, but now b6. And the rook on e8 is now not participating in any way in any attack, so it's misplaced. And now after bishop d8, white has an incredible move, once again f5. Because the queen cannot take on f5, needs to protect the pawn on g7, and if the bishop takes, now at least this diagonal is blocked for once. And now can take on b8, bishop h3, once again black would like to play the queen to e4, but now rook takes g7. Amazing. Again, the queen is deflected. If queen takes, then simply c7, and white is too fast with his pawns. And if king takes, then queen a7 check, and the queen is coming back in time to protect the white king. It's simply amazing how everything worked out together here for white. So let's return to this position, and black can only save himself with bishop d8. Now rook d7, and now h4. So black is preparing queen e4 so that the pawn on g3 is not hanging, as we had seen it before when white takes on g7 and then takes on g3. Amazing, quiet move in such a complicated position with the rook hanging on b8, but it doesn't matter. What all matters is the white king here. c7, bishop takes c7, rook takes c7, queen e4, and now bishop f3, only move to protect the mate on g2, and queen cannot take because rook takes g7 and rook h7 and queen g7 mate. So queen c2, and now bishop e2, and it's quite a funny perpetual here. And white doesn't have anything better. If White doesn't have anything better. If he takes on g7, it's... Oh, I'm sorry. No. He has to play bishop f3 here once again, and it's a draw. Yeah. Alright, so let's go back to the game. We have seen enough crazy variations, and now let's focus again on the game. Queen d4. And my opponent missed his chance here to decide the game right away. He played bishop d8, which looks good, but it was good to simply occupy the a file here, and I cannot keep black from intruding over the a file. If rook ca7, then black simply takes, and the queen is perfectly placed on this diagonal. So for one, the queen is looking on e4, and for the other on b1, and queen takes a7 is followed by queen e4, and rook takes a7 is followed by queen b1, and now queen d1, queen e4, double attack, and bishop d1 is answered by probably easiest bishop g4, and black's winning this bishop on d1, and his attack is going to continue. White is not fast enough, unfortunately, with his passed pawns here. It's not fast enough. And if the rook moves to d1, then this one move is simply killing white's position here. Bishop d2, bishop g4, and black has too many active pieces attacking the white king, and white is lost here. So let's return to this position, and my opponent played bishop d8 here. And the idea is I have to play rook b7 now, and he had seen this possibility that he can splitter up my passed pawns, my connected pawns, because now he's stopping them perfectly well with his bishop on b8. But still, it's not over yet. b6, bishop b8. Now both my pawns are stopped, but still there are possibilities in this position. But I was very short on time now, I remember, and I played now bishop f3. I didn't want to play anything too compromising or too obligating here. Play bishop f3. I should have played c4. And once again, white is holding on. It should be a draw here. D takes c4, queen takes c4, king h7, bishop c5, rook h8, and now I can exchange this bishop finally on b8, h4, bishop f3, bishop g4, and it looks like black is still having some attack, but it's not enough. Bishop c6, it's just an amazing position, so complex. h3, bishop c7, just crazy. And Anishgiri is writing here, it's almost Zugzwang, so almost no move for black, but then again, black can simply play bishop f5, and it seems that the position is in a dynamic balance here. Incredible. But I played bishop f3. Now bishop g4 would be slightly stronger, but it's so difficult really to find these moves, because after h4 I have the idea here in the future to play with f5. So now I played rook c1, also c4 is possible, also queen e1 is a possibility, but rook c1 looks fine. I want to prepare this move now, c4. I want to open up the position in some way. Bishop g4. And I took this bishop. It's simply losing here. I cannot take this bishop on g4, but I did. I should have played f5. Quite an amazing move found by a computer, of course, as so many moves. If now bishop takes f5, then queen takes h4. An interesting variation here, bishop h3, queen takes, rook takes f3, and now c4. And it seems that white is having enough counterplay here. Amazing variations once again. And now queen f1 check, rook f5 and queen b5, and it's incredible. The white king is so open, but black doesn't have any check, and it looks like white is going to achieve a perpetual. Wow. So I took on g4. Oh wait, one more line. After f5, black of course can also take with the pawn. Now bishop takes d5, king h7, and bishop f4. And once again, it's completely unclear here. The white position looks very dangerous, but on the other hand, white's piece is still defending his position, and it's just incredibly unclear. So I took on g4, and now queen takes g4, queen d1, and here black would have had a very easy way to win, and I will show you in the next video. We'll do another short break. See you then.